Oh, hey folks, Taco here, and I've gotten some questions, good questions about my coffee trees. Um, there's many less than there were. I gave some away, but they've been problematic. You might be able to see on this one that I haven't cut the top off yet that I've had quite a bit of issue with mealybugs. So as it is, I have six of them in various stages of growing. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to check the roots. I believe that most of these are alive, mostly, if not all the way alive. There's some dead bits on them, uh, but there was living tissue, and I cut these all back. So it's my hope the roots aren't too bad, but I might have issues with root rot. I might have issues with pests in the soil. So I'm not going to be reusing any of this soil. I'm going to be potting all these up into a forest. And there's six of them. So this is going to be rather long. Let's dive in. So, of course, one at a time is the best way to do anything. If I try to rush forward and do it all at once, I will probably run into more issues than if I just do it the right way. I do have some water ready to go for when I need it. And I'm going to start with this one in the blue container here, because it is one of my healthier, or appeared to be one of my healthier ones. Um, I understand there's a lot of light behind me. Sorry about that, but we're just going to do what we got to do. So, definitely roots in here. I'm not sure how great condition they're in, but we'll figure that out pretty soon. I'm just going to start tearing into it, getting this soil just knocked off. Try to do it so I'm not flicking it onto the floor. Hopefully I can get this done relatively swiftly. I got these coffee trees as a little bundle, I think for $1 in a grocery store. The grocery store had put them on clearance, probably because they had pests. I've always struggled with these having mealybugs on them. I haven't gotten scale or anything else, but I've always had mealies. I've always tried to resolve issues I have with those mealies, and just, as I maintain them, sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse, but they never get too out of hand. But as you can tell, I'm not around as much as I was before. They do sometimes have issues. So a lot of these roots are just breaking. I don't know if they're dead. They might be. The color on them isn't that terrible. Not great, but it's not that terrible. They do have a lot of crisscrossing roots, so that might just be all I'm tearing here is just the crisscrossing roots. It did not completely separate from the bottom the way that the pomegranate did. And there is quite a bit of organic soil in here, which I'm also going to try to avoid using in the future. These were grown mostly individually, and when I up potted them, I think I just slip potted them. So these will be pretty, you know, this one may not have been up potted much at all. I might just pulled it out, put some more soil in, and put it back in. These would be, yeah, you can tell this one was just a for a slip pot thing. The bottom is separating from the top, which is fine. It's kind of to be expected. I believe I've got a real long taproot on this, which I'll have to terminate as well. Yeah. So before I waste too much time going after all this other stuff, I'm going to clip that off. Part of that was the taproot. If I can pull it back up. Or a thicker, this probably was a taproot. But I don't believe it was alive. I think it was rotten. They grow pretty nice roots. They tend to stay on the fine side, is my experience, which is what I prefer anyhow. So I'm not seeing anything I love here as far as, root development, which is fine. They were, little seedlings when I got them. Who knows how old. And as long as I can get them all into a pot, I'm not really concerned with most of these roots. You may not be able to see here. You might be able to. I'm going to zoom in now. I think I'm not really kind of talking, it's just kind of talking. So what I got going on is just a bunch of roots. I can see in here, I've got my main root comes down, kind of splits all the way down here. I'm gonna try to take that in half and cut it right here. Now we'll see if I've got any living tissue below that first. Curves up. That part was alive. I think this part is alive. Oop, here we are. Just looking at. This appears to be alive. It doesn't appear to be very healthy, but it appears to be alive, which is good. Now I'm going to take it back a little bit further. Trying to make sure that I don't have any weird wiggly roots in here. So, not a huge amount off yet. I believe this portion of the roots was alive, or is alive, I should say. And take it back a little bit further again. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm going to take off some of these top roots because I think the better root base farther down. There. So now what I'm left with isn't the prettiest thing. But I think my root base being farther down here is better. I think this is still getting wider until then. That root off is pointing up. Now again, I hope this is alive. I'm not 100% sure on that. I hope it is. There are some roots here that's laying right up against the trunk flat. I will leave those in there. That is the first one unpotted and pruned up.